Okay, hello, welcome. Today we are looking at the Rowin Mini Power Supply for your pedal board. This will be quite an in-depth review. I tend to do that because I know when you're looking at gear, you want to know as much information about it and about how it works, how good it is, before you fork out and buy it. So we will go quite in depth, so stay tuned. Click subscribe. Hit like if this video helps you out. Yeah, I do a lot of reviews and I try and cover things as thoroughly as I possibly can. My channel is basically all things music. I cover all sorts of instruments, lessons and stuff as well, but I also review gear regularly. So this is kind of an unboxing, but I already took it out of the box. Most of my unboxings, I've already taken it out of the box because I want to know a little bit about it before I show it to you. Cool, but I still have the box. The box is kind of flash, who cares? This is what we're concerned about. Anyway, here we go, that's where this thing fits in there. It's remarkably small. We will have a look at its size in a minute, but in here you get some instructions. You get a bunch of cables that are all wound up like this at the moment. You get some, so you'll get 8 cables because there's 8 outputs, 8 9-volt outputs. You get some polarity changing cables that might have another slang term, and this is a cable I have unraveled already. Give you some idea of the length, but that is 500 mil long, which is half of a meter. You can convert that to inches if you so desire. So the one thing about the cables, you get one straight end, one right angle end. I would have liked to have seen 2 right angle ends, because when you have this on your pedal board, either you've got to come straight out of there instead of having this, or alternatively you have to do that at your pedal. So you have to have this sticking straight out of your pedal instead of a nice tidy right angle, meaning you can fit your pedals closer together. But because this is so small, I'm going to have mine around this way, so then it will take up a little bit more space, but this thing is seriously tiny. Let's have a look at the size. So I don't have any Boss pedals here today, but I do have the box for one, and you will know that the Boss pedal is a very tight fit. Unboxing the Boss pedal. The pedal is very tight fit inside this box, so it'll give you some idea of size. It's pretty little. Try and get that somewhere so you can see it. So we could fit probably about 4 of them against that box. Cool, so they are very small. They are also very cheap. This is under $50 US. Currently on eBay it's like 47 bucks or something. US, I often like to talk about US dollars because that's a more international currency than if I talk in New Zealand dollars. Cool, so we will take a little bit of a look. You'll notice I threw the instructions away. It's not rocket science. You've got power in and 4 power out on each side. Okay, each one has an LED. You will see when we plug it into the board that those LEDs are very, very bright. So I will be doing something with them to dull them down because I don't want to go blind every time I look at my pedal board. So disadvantage with this is you get 8 isolated 9-volt outputs. So if you have a pedal running 18 volt, you're going to need something else to run that. But 9 volt is a fairly standard voltage that you use, but you don't get the other options of the 9s and 16s, 12s, whatever, that you will get with some of the more advanced units. Okay, you also of course get your AC adapter, which I reckon that's about 1 meter. Let's find out. Tape measure. I'm gonna have to do it on the ground. About 1.1 meters. That cable there. Of course, you can just get extension cords. You wouldn't know through the instructions way before, but I will just read you the information on here you want to know. See, there's a wiring diagram. Power in and power out, and then that is to change polarity, so that your negative and positive flip round the other way, which you will know you will need if you plug in a pedal and it doesn't work. Normally that just needs that polarity flipped around, which is what those extra cables were for. So we'll read the English side. So the size 95 deep, 45 wide and 48 high, in case you wanted those dimensions exactly. That is in millimeters, of course, and 300 milliamp working current. Okay, so that's about all you need to know off there, I believe. Okay, so the other thing we're going to do is we're going to check actually if these outputs are isolated. Okay, and we're actually going to unscrew it and have a look inside, see what it looks like. Because of course when you see something cheap and something small, your biggest concern is that they're in fact not isolated. I saw a video where a guy reviewed one and he said actually that the things inside were not one of these, it was some other power supply. He said that they were just daisy chained together inside, in which case you might as well just plug in a daisy chain. So we will have a look inside and see what the mechanics of this thing look like. Okay, we'll look inside the unit now. So you can see there are individual units for each output. If you're anything like me, you were probably wondering if this was just a glorified daisy chain, as apparently some of the cheap ones are. So I've been told, but yeah, I don't know how true that is either. But you can see there is quite a bit of circuitry going on just in this unit. So this is where your power feed comes in. So there's actually 2 boards inside this with individual units here for each output. So it certainly appears, in terms of all that circuitry in there, that these are individually isolated outputs. Okay, right, so we have this thing on our board now. You can sort of get an idea how bright those are. That's a fairly dull LED. That is a fairly normal LED. This is another bright blue LED. It's a similar brightness, it's just a little bit more direct at the camera, makes it look brighter. So I may end up covering those or something. I'm starting to get a little bit used to them now. But what we will do, we will have a look at what sort of noise and things this power supply makes. We will take a couple of quick measurements just to satisfy all you techie guys out there. I'm not going to do every individual one, but what I have got is I've got 4 pedals plugged in that are all going to draw some current, and then we will test So let's look at voltage first. 8.83. If I unplug one of them, 8.83. So it's still the same voltage there. Okay, the other thing we want to look at is the milliamps. Remember we said it should have 300 milliamps. Just make a couple adjustments here. So we're jumping around a bit, and there's 300 we just went through, 270, 280, 290, 300 milliamps. Unplug one again. $290. Let's unplug another one. $270, $260. Kind of doesn't make sense. You'd think unplugging them that you should be getting more because there's less current being drawn by other pedals. That would be the theory. So that's interesting. Whether that's just this cheap multimeter having issues, but it looks like the more of them you unplug, the less milliamps you get at other outlets, which doesn't make any scientific sense. Because if the other pedals are drawing away current, you should get less with more pedals plugged in. Okay, so here we go. There's some quick measurements anyway. Okay, so the test now for what kind of noise this thing makes. What I've got, you'll see in a minute, I've got a setup here, just my amp and a microphone. Currently I've got the amp off so that you can hear that any background noise you are hearing at the moment is from the microphone itself. Normally I put a filter on my videos to cut down that background noise that we get out of the microphone recording through the computer and all that stuff. I'll chuck a gate on for that, which I'm not going to do because what we're trying to hear at the moment is background noise. So just so you can recognize background noise from the microphone, it's this. It'd be awkward now if there wasn't any there. I don't know, because I can't hear the video and record the video at the same time. But nevertheless, let's carry on. So we've got our board down here. This is the power supply here. I have today just chucked some tape over those lights because when I used this live, I felt that those lights were too bright and were creating a distraction that I didn't want. So I've just whacked some tape straight over top of them. But you can see we are powered up here, so let's turn the amp on, which I've got plugged into the high gain setting at the moment. So there is a little bit there. But really no more than what I would expect out of that amp when it's turned on. A bit of overdrive, so we get a bit more out of that pedal. But these are my two overdrives here, which I use to stack. So you can hear that's getting quite dirty now. Sorry, that probably is completely distorting that microphone because it is quite close to the amp, but of course we want to hear that background noise. So that's with just the SD1 on. That's with the MXR on. And that is with both on. And that's with both off. Cool. So I guess the conclusion to that really is there's a little bit of noise there, but no more than what you would get from a daisy chain. I would say that noise that is there is probably existing noise that the amp would have anyway. So that is actually with the cable unplugged. So there's that little sort of almost rumbling noise in that amp. That's just the amp. So that's got nothing to do with the pedal board setup now that that is disconnected. So yeah, are they isolated? Yep, certainly appear to be. I would say sounds like they would be. Is it quieter than a daisy chain? Probably. Especially once you start getting multiple pedals through a daisy chain and you're mixing up digital and analog, that sort of thing. I would say you're going to be better off with this. That's my opinion. Is it as good as the higher price units? Probably not. I hear good things about the likes of the Voodoo Labs in terms of dealing with noise and that sort of thing. But for its price, what it's worth, I reckon it's a good buy. So gets a thumbs up from me.